Before we get started with today's video, I have an announcement to make. After years of telling other people's stories, I finally released one of my own. My novel Eternal Reign is available now in both ebook and paperback format for those of you who are like me and prefer to collect physical media. You can grab a copy right now on Amazon through the link in the description of this video. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. With the threat from the Void over and dealt with, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn head back to the moon of the Source, where Livingway lets them know that a crack had appeared in the barrier between the First and the Source, so everyone who was with her saw you all take down Zeromus. They saw you win, but they didn't see what happened with Azhdaya, so Y'shtola gets her caught up. The dragon's original form was very much dead, but Vritra made her a new body with one of his eyes. Granted, she will have to grow from a baby dragon to an adult again, which could take a very long time. But she's not dead and she's back home, so that's a win. Since Zero stayed on her world to fix it, the Moon Bunnies, who don't really have all that much to do, start thinking of ways that they can help her. But you've done enough, so they tell you to do the one thing that you don't ever seem to want to do, and that's go relax. Since your trip back down will take you through Garlemald, Urianger wants you to let Julius know how everything went, and that Zero won't be coming back. Since he seemed to like the woman more than a little bit, it's only right to tell him. Julius is with the twins when you, Estinian, Urianger, and Y'shtola show up, so you only have to tell the story once. They're excited to hear about the battle and how Y'shtola channeled ether from the First all of the way to the Void, but Julius is kinda bummed that he didn't get to give Zero a proper send-off. Now he has to find another stoic goth chick to crush on. He is happy that things worked out for her, and since she's pushing herself to rebuild the Void, it only makes sense that he puts the same effort into rebuilding Garlemald. With the new trade deal with Razad Han, they're all well underway to getting their nation back up and running, but it will take some time. They wouldn't have come nearly as far as they had without the twins, so Julius and the other Guardians tell them to do what they should have done a long time ago, and that's go home and take a break. Neither of the twins understand the concept of a break, so they decide to use their time off to visit some other nations that don't have any history with Garlemald. That way they can maybe make some new alliances. In other words, they're gonna do the exact opposite of take a break, but they will go back to Sharlayan to plan their next move first, so they might end up relaxing for a little while. Y'shtola figures that you all need to talk to the twins' dad to thank him for his help too with the whole Void situation, so your entire supposed to be disbanded group of Scions head back to Sharlayan together to talk to Fortunato. He's of course happy to see his kids, but once he hears about your whole dragging light ether across shards trick, his first thought is how you all could have blown something important up. But since it didn't happen, he won't dwell on it. But the forum wants Y'shtola to write a full report on what she did, because it will probably be useful for some nonsense in the future. For now, Varshan wants you all to come back to Razad Han for a feast to celebrate the return of his sister. The twins would come, but if they leave right after coming back to the city, their mom would probably kill them. Urianger has something else to do in Sharlayan too, so he's gonna have to pass. And the Warrior of Light has to make a trip back to the First before she does anything else, so she can get Zeromus' crystal to Reen. Since they might need to use the Crystal Tower again, Y'shtola lets you take her spirit vessel back to them too. So you head off to meet up with Reen again to let her know what happened, and to give her Zero's gift. Beck, Luke, Lena, and Reen are happy to hear that things worked out for you, and it turns out that your not-so-little trip around the First helped remind the people of Norvrant why they were working together in the first place, which should help keep tension down between the nations. Reen can feel the darkness coming from the crystal that you brought, and even Beck Luke thinks it might actually be able to do just what Zero said about restoring the empty. But Reen will need to learn more about her own powers first, so she's gonna hold off on the whole plant studying thing for a bit, just so she can spend some time learning what she can actually do. Gaia, who conveniently wasn't there when you came by with Zero because there can only be one goth girl on screen at a time, finally shows up before you leave, which means you have to tell her the whole story about what you've done, and about the plan to use darkness from the Void to fix the empty. With her being who she is, you would think that they would have come up with that idea a long time ago, but nothing ever said they were smart. With your mission finished, you make your way back to Razad Han to join the others at the feast to celebrate the return of Azhdaya. The whole city is there drinking and having a good time talking about some of the dumbest things. Estinian can't believe all of this came because he bought an extremely expensive map, and he's curious to find out what's going to happen in the future. For the moment, Y'shtola's only plan is to spend who knows how long working on a report to Sharlayan, and of course figuring out how to get back to the First, while Varshan plans on reclaiming his lost time with his now little sister. It's finally time for everyone to get that break they were supposed to get after the final days, at least until the next adventure pops up, and it will probably have something to do with the letter Krau found asking for help from her grandfather. as well as the very mysterious person that Erenville brought back with him from his homeland, which just so happens to be the New World. This concludes the story of Growing Light. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, comment, share it, and subscribe. Donate to the channel if you can, and I'll see you all next time.